What's up, everybody? GetMeowth here. So, with Hearthstone expansion announcement season and all of the news that was released today, we also got a brand new game mode, Hearthstone Duels. So, this is a PvP dungeon run adventure where you get to build kind of a pre-constructed deck based upon your standard and wild collections. Where you, as your starting point, before you start adding all the goodies and tools from the dungeon run kind of format. And so, what I wanted to do today was I know a lot of you guys, sadly or unfortunately, have been dusting a lot of your wild cards to help you craft these new standard cards for every expansion that comes out. And so, I wanted to record a short video to talk about, what wild cards do you need to craft or should you craft so that you can be competitive and win a lot of games in this new format. So the two wild formats that are in rotation for the first kind of season of Hearthstone Duels are Curse of Naxxramas and One Night in Karazhan. So luckily for y'all, these are both adventures, right? So these are adventures that you can buy from Hearthstone for a small amount of money if you don't want to spend the dust to craft all of these cards, and that will get you access to literally everything in those adventures. But if you don't want to do that, you can craft the cards individually. And so for those of you guys that do want to do that, I'm going to talk to you about what cards I think are the should crafts and the ones that, obviously depends on what the new hero powers and everything that come out are, but things that you might want to craft because they have some synergy with the classes or the sets that are currently in rotation. So let's go ahead and start off with Curse of Naxxramas. So the cards that I think you should craft. Okay, so I think the most important one is Lothar. I think Lothar is just an insanely powerful card to begin with. It's one of the best cards in Wild, in a format that has literally every card, available to players. And so I think it's still going to be a very, very strong card in this format, especially with a couple of classes and strategies leaning heavily towards spells. If you're playing an aggressive or a tempo-based strategy, I think Lothar is a very, very good card in those decks. If you're looking to play a defensive deck, right, some sort of control-y archetype, or maybe there's some Death Rattle synergy when it comes to Hunter or Priest, Sledge Belcher is a big friend. Sledge Belcher was one of the best 5-drops, still is one of the best defensive 5-drops in the game, and should still be a very, very strong card in this new format. Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow, 1 mana, 2/3, restores 5 health to your opponent's face, but who cares about that, right? Board control is all that matters. In a format where you might not have access to all the AoE cards in the format, keeping control of the board early probably is a premium effect. So I think Zombie Chow is up there for one of the best 1-drops. And then Naxxramas also has some of the most powerful aggressive tools, right? When it comes to Haunted Creeper, Nerubian Egg, and Mad Scientist. So Mad Scientist, the ability to cheat secrets out of your deck, right? Whether that's Hunter secrets, Mage secrets, or even Paladin secrets if you want to go that route. Mad Scientist, again, one of the best cards in Wild now, right? When you have access to all the cards. And if you're playing Hunter or Mage, you definitely should be looking at Mad Scientist as the card you want to pick up and craft. It is a common, it's very, very, very cheap. And you only need one of them, right? Because you can only run one of them in your deck. Haunted Creeper, if you're running any sort of token or aggressive or Death Rattle synergistic aggressive or tempo deck, you definitely want Haunted Creeper as well. Again, very, very good at keeping control of the board. And last but not least, Nerubian Egg. If you're running any sort of Death Rattle synergy, you absolutely want Nerubian Egg. The tempo of gaining a 4/4 off of your 2-drop, as well as the stats for being able to trade up with something like Direwolf, Abusive, Power Overwhelming. Very, very good card. And of course, we can't forget Voidcaller and Deathbite, two kind of classic cards in Wild's history. Obviously, very, very good cards, given the right sort of synergy available to them. There's not very many big demons available for Voidcaller, but that might change with the introduction of the new expansion. And Deathbite, just a very, very good card. Depends on how much weapon synergy there is in Warrior. Yeah, just like two solid, really, really strong cards on their own that with any little bit of synergy probably are good enough to play in your decks. But yeah, those are kind of my staples from Naxxramas. I know, so these are a lot of cards, but Naxxramas is one of the most impactful adventures, and I think it's chock full of really, really good cards. And these are the ones that I think you absolutely should craft. But then let's move and shift towards One Night in Karazhan. So One Night in Karazhan was kind of a mixed bag when it came to this adventure because there was a lot of um, hate, I guess, towards the shaman meta that evolved based upon that. But looking past that, there was a lot of unique and powerful cards from One Night in Karazhan that are fairly cheap that you might want to look into crafting. So let's go ahead and start with our shid crafts. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some hunter cards. Just from watching Kibler on the reveal stream, right? Hunter has some secret and death rattle synergies that are pretty powerful already available to it. So One Night in Karazhan gives you access to Cat Trick, which is a very, very strong hunter secret. It gives you access to Kindly Grandmother, a pretty powerful death rattle minion, right, for early in the game. And then you get Cloaked Huntress. Cloaked Huntress is a really powerful tool at cheating out secrets. So with some of the new hunter synergies that are yet to be revealed, if some of them give you access to secrets, right, whether generation or anything like that, then Cloaked Huntress can be a very, very strong tool, specifically in combination with cards like Mad Scientist. So Hunter gets a lot of good tools from One Night in Karazhan. Mage gets stuff like Medivh's Valet if you do want to play some sort of secret strategy, alongside stuff like Mad Scientist. And it also gets Firelands Portal. Firelands Portal was kind of like the bane of a lot of arena players' existence back in the day, just because it's a 7-mana huge tempo swing, and that's pretty relevant in a dungeon run format where you don't have like strong, consistent strategies that are always available to players. And so Firelands Portal is always one of those cards that I think you do have to look at, and it's fairly cheap as well. It is just a common. And then the last 3 cards that I want to talk about as your must crafts. So Maelstrom Portal if you're playing Shaman. Maelstrom Portal is just insanely strong, powerful card. Still is an insanely powerful card in Wild. Very, very good card. And then Warlock. Warlock has already base level some discard synergies inherent to the into Willow's hero power. And Karazhan gives you access to both Malchezaar's Imp and Silverware Golem, kind of 2 staples of discard Warlock and Wild, like a very powerful deck. And those 2 of the staples you get access to in One Night in Karazhan, and are both fairly cheap cards that you just need to craft 1 copy of. So those are the ones that I would really look into crafting. And so now moving into some of the maybe crafts from One Night in Karazhan, outside of the legendary cards that are just super cool, you also have access to like beast cards in Druid, right? So if you want to play some sort of, I haven't really messed with Druid much, but you get access to Enchanted Raven and Menagerie Warden for early game beast, right? So if you want to play aggressive, or helps you take control of the board, but Menagerie Warden gives you the access to copy those big beasts. You get Babbling Book if you want to play some sort of tempo-y mage strategy. Ones that always kind of replace themselves are always powerful cards. And so for that same reason, you got Swashbuckler and Rogue that does the same sort of thing. And then last but not least, Netherspite Historian. So this 2 mana 1/3. Its power level did go down to drastic amounts once they nerfed Discover. But if dragons are a viable strategy, which I don't really know if they will be, because you don't have access to like Descent of Dragons in the rotation cycle for Hearthstone Duels. But if the dragons do end up coming into rotation, stuff like Netherspite Historian will be a very, very powerful inclusion. Yeah, so that was just a little short guide about what wild cards you might want to craft for this brand new Hearthstone expansion. And I hope that you guys take advantage of this and enjoy and start playing with some wild cards. And maybe if you like more wild content, check out the other YouTube videos on this channel. But yeah, I'm really excited to mess around with Hearthstone Duels, and I hope you guys are as well. And make sure you guys drop a subscription here on the YouTube channel if you guys want to check out some highlights of some Wild and Hearthstone Duels content that should be coming fairly soon. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I really do hope it was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.